So I'm in the process of resurrecting my HF antenna. Had a request for a sked over the Easter weekend and committed to that, and then realised I don't actually have an antenna. We've just had some work done to replace this balustrade here, and normally that's where the antenna's mounted, so came down a few weeks ago and just been a bit too lazy to put it back up, so that's what I'm going to do now. So I just thought I'd take you through what I'm doing and see what you thought. Plan is to mount a 7-metre heavy duty squid pole on top of that black fiberglass pole that you see there, which is mounted between some of the supports on the balustrade. Not gonna be really strong, but I think it'll probably do, so we'll see how we go. From the ground up to the top of that pole is about 5 metres, and a 7-metre squid pole on top of that will be 12, but the 7-metre pole slides down over the other one, so I'm expecting it's going to be no more than about 10 metres, which is the legal limit here. So we'll see how we go. Okay, so just got the 7-metre pole on the ground there with the feed point attached to it, and I'm just installing a coax down the pole at the moment. It's an end-fed antenna from a company called High End Fed. Really good antenna, covers 10 through to 80 metres. 80 metres pretty narrow, but it works and you can tune it up if you need to. The rest of it's usually pretty resonant, so it's all good. It's about 23 metres long and goes up into the trees out the back there, nice and high and off in the distance, so a bit hard to get a bit of perspective here, but I'll try and get some more from a different angle. So we'll go down and see how this is progressing. I've already got the feed point mounted on the end, so basically I've just slid the top section of the squid pole down because it's going to be a little bit too flimsy, I thought. So I don't know if you can see that. You can see the top section's just there. Alright, out of the way, dog. Okay, so feed point there, radiator goes off into the distance, and basically just got the coax cable tied down the pole, just so it doesn't droop away and create more stress on the pole. So see how we go. Okay dokes, so we got the coax, which is something like LMR 400, strapped all the way along the pole now, almost all the way to the base, and forgot to cut those cable ties off. That's alright, we'll do that, and we're pretty much ready to go. So feed points here, wires all the radiators all laid out, so hopefully we don't get it tangled up. So the idea now is just to take it up there somehow and lay it out so that we can maneuver it up into position to slide it over the other pole, which I've taken down in position just at the bottom of the stairs. So hopefully the idea is just to lift it up in the air, slide it down over the other pole. We'll see how that goes. Stand by. Okay, that went better than I thought it would. So we've got the main pole stood up now. You can see the top of the feed point there. The idea is to slide the longer pole over the shorter pole and then pull the whole thing up and mount it on the balustrade. Pretty straightforward. What could possibly go wrong? Let's wait and see. Alright, that went surprisingly well. So there we go. One pole stood on top of the other. Got it in place by this extremely professional looking arrangement here. And then up we go. So, see how we go manoeuvring this whole thing into place now that it's assembled. Stand by. Alright, so plan A turned out to be a little bit over ambitious. Turns out that the angle between where the pole is going to go here and the top of that roof there is going to be a little bit too tight to get the whole thing up in. So plan for now is to strap the whole thing to the side of the balcony here, and then I'll look to go and get myself 4 or 5 metre timber post, secure that down at the ground, and then slide the whole thing back over the top of that and do it that way. So that's right, a little bit too ambitious, but that's life. So I'll just get this installed and then come back for a final look. Right, everything's set up. Not the dodgiest looking setup I've ever done, believe it or not, but it should hold based on experience. So there we've got a 7 metre heavy duty squid pole, extended up to 6 metres, sitting on top of what remains of an older fiberglass squid pole, strapped on with some friction locking strap thingos, which cost all of $5 from Bunnings. So that will hold for a while. It's only temporary. Let's just define temporary and say that it's Good Friday 2016, and at some point in the future, fairly soon, you should see an update to this video on what becomes more permanent. Soon, of course, is relative and open to interpretation. So what we'll do is go and get the wire pulled up tight into the trees and finalise everything. Here's what we've ended up with at the end of the day. One 7 metre squid pole strapped to the balcony with the radiator off it. Not as high as I wanted, but my ambition was not aligned with physics, so plan Q. So we'll see how we go. In the future, I think I'll probably end up getting maybe a 6, maybe an 8 metre timber pole, strap it to the outside of the balcony here, and maybe use 2 metres of fiberglass pole on the top, only because it needs something that will give way should the worst happen and stresses get too much on the antenna. I don't mind that snapping off. I just don't want, big chunks of timber coming down. So we'll see what happens. Let's take another view from the backyard. Alright, so it's got a fair bend in it, hasn't it? But it should be alright. The wire, I don't know if you can see it or not, it's got a bit of a sag in it. It's not piano wire tight. Maybe it can be loosened off a little bit. I don't know, we'll see how we go. But that's what we've got so far. Okay, I have no idea if you can see that or not. It's just the end of the wire disappearing up into the tree there. It's actually caught on a lower branch, actually right to the very top of that lighter coloured green tree that you might be able to see sticking out the top there. Where are we? So that light coloured stuff there, there's a finger, is actually where the top of the rope goes over, but the antenna itself is actually routed under there, unfortunately. But it's high enough, I think, so we'll see how we go. Okay, feed line, just routed over the rafters, down into a choke ballon. Incidentally, that's the choke ballon that failed during our previous field day exercise, which has now been repaired, and that just keeps the currents out of the shack, and then some RG58 through there into the shack. Alrighty, not sure how well you can see that, but it's not too bad in terms of performance there, just looking at VSWR, but yeah, fairly happy with that.